Yo, what's going on, guys? Dungeon Runner Tank here, and I have a Paleozoic frog deck profile for you. 3 swap, 3 dupe, 2 Ronin, standard frog lineup. I would not change anything at all. This works just wonderful. 2 scapegoat, 3 desires. Either you run 2 or 3, it's pretty much the right answer. 2 duster, 2 lost wind. So lost wind is strong. You can send it to the graveyard with Morella. You can pitch it with Dynamiscus and basically just plus. Heavy Storm Duster is pretty much just a twin twister that you don't have to pay cost for. So it's very strong. And onto the Paleozoics. 2 Morella. 3 MST. 3 Book of Moon. And 3 Karma Cut. So these right here are pretty much the standard lineup and the majority of builds that I see. And Morella is actually pretty good too. I usually activate Morella, send Lost Wind to the graveyard, or I'll activate Morella and send another Morella to the graveyard just so I can get additional Paleo chains. So it's actually pretty good. I like it. I'm actually considering putting it up to 3, possibly putting Lost Wind up to 3, because I mean they're pretty much like just good in every matchup except for True Dracos. So yeah. Also run 3 Reckless Greed, because it's kind of similar to Desires. You just draw 2 cards. And if you could basically, and especially if you get two Reckless Greeds, you basically activate, you draw 4 cards, only skip 2 draw phases. So that's always strong, and if you get that off, you're doing pretty good. So you basically just draw a card, you basically just draw a card, do all your Toad shenanigans and whatnot, and basically just keep plussing. But it can also kill you sometimes, which is a downside to it, to be honest. Because if you activate it during your opponent's turn, you basically draw 2 cards and the cards are bad, and you just keep skipping those draw phases, then you essentially lose because of Reckless Greed. But, you still literally win games because of this, and you also get a Paleo chain. So it's like during your turn, draw, stand by main, do some swap frog plays and whatnot, activate Reckless Greed. It can basically bait on Ash also, so you could activate Desires without it getting ashed, potentially. But otherwise, activate it, chain Paleo, special summon, draw 2 cards. As for Solemns, Strikes, Warning, Judgment. So Judgment's amazing. Warning is pretty great also. And Strike, you pay 1,500 life points, can stop a big... If you wait for the perfect moment to activate these cards, you can literally win games because of it, which is why I run them. Order and 3 goes in. So these are the floodgates. Order literally wins game unless if you burn yourself out in time, and goes in matches. Well, it's goes in match. So especially if you can flip it at the right moment, either when your opponent has a full board and just make them get rid of most of their monsters, or they put a monster on board that doesn't really do anything for them, or that they're basically going link away or, try to get rid of, and you just flip goes in match on them and they're just stuck with that card and they can't do anything else. So it's pretty good. It's like with Thunder Dragons becoming more and more relevant, especially in the future, no one's really playing them at my locals just yet. So, but whenever they do, I might have to put Gozen in the side deck, because it doesn't really, it almost kind of does stuff against them, but at the same time, not really. Especially considering that they have an established board and you flip Gozen, instead of it just wiping out their board like it does with so many other decks, they could just, basically pop it or something. So... it's still yet to be determined if he'll stay in the future. But as of right now, and as long as no one's really heavily running it at my locals, basically goes a match in the main deck seems to work out just fine. On to the extra deck. 3 Toads. You have to run it. Toad is just way too strong. It's I was actually going up against someone. I used 2 Toads because they strike the second one. Just add Swat Frog back to my hand, normal summon Swat Frog effect, banish with Ron and Toad, overlay into a 3rd Toad, and he's just like, man, I was hoping you didn't have the 3rd Toad, and it's like, dude, Like Paleozoic players always run 3 toads, and there's a reason. Like, this card is like busted. It's amazing. I also run the 2 Paleozoics. So yeah, these things right here are actually really strong. I think running them both at 1 is the right answer. You know, you could possibly run like Opabeni at 2, but I actually really like this. I usually only ever go into one of these. I've actually gone into like both of them in a game before. And it's like, I pretty much won the game because of it. Because you search with this, get Dynamiscus, banish something, pop stuff with this, and you have cards set right here. So they go to the graveyard, activate effect, reveal, you know, add it to your hand. And it's like, you just plus like really hard. And if you go against something like Altergeist, like their only out to this is basically strike and their face up trap card that acts like a strike. But otherwise, you can just basically just keep beating over all their stuff. They try to use their monster effects on it, does nothing. You don't even care about it. So yeah, these are strong. Like, these are definitely one-ofs in the deck. Onto the other XYZs. 1 Cat Shark, 1 Ultimate Falcon. Ultimate Falcon because I like to run Waking the Dragon, because when people like put in all their Twin Twisters and whatnot and blow up my background, I'm just like, Waking the Dragon. They're just like, okay, cool. And I'm just like, Ultimate Falcon. And Ultimate Falcon can steal games, but, you know, people still have a lot of ways to get over it. So it's not like overly relevant, but at the same time, it's still fun to use. And I have Cat Shark here because it's my only out to Ultimate Falcon if I blow up Awaken the Dragon. And Link Rebo, Link Spider, Proxy, Mrs. Radiant, 2 Star Boys. So Mrs. Radiant, Link Rebo, Link Spider, Proxy Dragon, they're very much just there for the scapegoat plays. Because Mrs. Radiant plus Link Spider, you can basically do a decent amount of damage with that. Miss Starboy is a Starboy, 2 Miss Starboys plus Toad, 8,000 damage. Proxy Dragon's actually there because you basically do Scapegoat, Link Rebo, Proxy Dragon, and then you have the token right here, normal summon Swat Frog, activate effect. They try to destroy it, you just tribute the token because of Proxy Dragon's effect. And if they don't, you basically link these away for a Decode Talker. And then you also have, so basically you'll have Decode Talker plus Totally Awesome, and then you'll also have a Link Rebo. And that's a pretty strong board. So Decode Talker and Topologic. And that's it for my extra deck. So I would actually run the Boral Sword, but I do not have Boral Sword, and I also don't have Borreload. So those are 2 that I would actually run. If I had Boral Sword, I would cut out Cat Shark, like completely. You do not need Cat Shark, because Cat Shark is literally just there so I can get over Ultimate Falcon. That's the only reason. So if you have Boral Sword, you just take out Cat Shark, because Boral Sword's going to be better for the most part. Otherwise, Topologic Bomber Dragon has some fun plays, because you just chain a Paleo and special summon them to a zone, basically like underneath Topologic. Then you blow up all your opponent's monsters in the main zones. And you can also still put these there with Topologic Bomber there, because the Paleozoics are unaffected by monster effects. And of course, you need the sheep tokens. Now onto the side deck. 3 Ogre, Raigeki Dark Hole, and 2 Waken the Dragons. So these are typically the cards I'll put in whenever I know that I'm going to go second. Heavy Storm Duster, Mind Crush, Unending Nightmare, and 3 anti-spells. So yeah, guys, that's the deck profile. If there's anything I can do to actually improve it, or to actually improve the videos themselves, leave a comment down below. This deck's pretty good. It's solid. Like, frogs are strong. The deck is really fun. You can just mess people up. You know, all that back row, like, literally scares people. You don't have to worry about evenly matched too much also. Like, I have the Mind Crushes there, but for the most part, you have Totally Awesome can negate it. And you also have Solemn Judgment. So, you know, for the most part, it's not too big of a deal. You know, otherwise, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, you know, hit that notification bell. Dungeon Runner Tank, signing out.